After the harvest of sugarcane, the dry leaves, called sugarcane, are burned in the field itself. Because they are considered to be useless, the Agriculture Department has developed a process for converting the sugarcane trash into charcoal. This portable kiln is taken to a place where sugarcane trash, leaf litter, or other light biomass is plentifully available. The trash is filled into 6 to 10 stainless steel barrels. Don't compress the biomass, otherwise it will not carbonize. Each barrel can accommodate about 3 kilograms of trash. After filling the barrels, close their lids and use binding wire to securely close the barrels. Each lid has a hole to allow for escaping gases. Now you see the interior of the kiln. Fill the trash into the kiln like this. Then place the steel platform into the kiln at its center. The trash should be filled no higher than the lowest kiln corrugation. Now place the barrels loaded with trash upside down into the kiln. If there's space in between the barrels, fill them with trash. Then place the lid of the kiln along with the chimney on top of the kiln. Clean the area surrounding the kiln of all loose and combustible matter. And make sure to leave space at the bottom of the kiln for air to enter. The kiln is then fired like this. You should sprinkle water around the kiln to prevent accidental fires. Initially, the kiln produces smoke. But after about 10 minutes, the smoke subsides. The heat of the kiln cooks trash inside the barrels, so that the trash gets pyrolyzed. This process produces a combustible gas, holes of the lids of the barrels, and burns below the barrels. This adds to the heat and drives the reaction further. After about 30 minutes, place a lid on top of the chimney. This is to trap the heat and further the carbonization process. While one set of barrels is being heated, fill trash into the next set of barrels and keep them ready. It takes about 45 minutes to complete the charring of one set of barrels. When complete, remove the lid of the kiln, and sprinkle water on the barrels and the interior of the kiln. This will prevent the residual fuel in the kiln from igniting again. You can provide the barrels with handles for easy lifting. Lift the barrels one by one out of the kiln. Notice that this process can take place in a small yard. The barrels should not be opened immediately, as the hot charcoal in them may catch fire. After removing the barrels with the char, load the kiln again with fresh trash. Place fresh barrels into the kiln. Then place the lid of the kiln along with the chimney on top of the kiln. And fire it as before. Let the earlier set of barrels cool while the new ones are being loaded and fired. After cooling the barrels, they should be turned right side up like this. And after removing the binding wires, the lid should be opened. Let the earlier set of barrels cool while the new ones are being loaded and fired. After cooling the barrels, they should be turned right side up like this. And after removing the binding wires, the lid should be opened. You can see the trash has been turned into char. 3 kilograms of trash will yield 1 kilogram of char. This char should later be collected into sacks like this. While working with char, one should always wear a mask and hand gloves when needed. By operating 2 kilns continuously for 8 hours, it is possible to produce about 150 kilograms of charcoal. Now let us see how to make briquettes from this char powder. For making briquettes, we use 1 kilogram of starch for every 10 kilograms of char. The starch is boiled to make paste out of it. This boiling paste is then mixed with the char powder Then this mixture should be taken to the briquette extruder. Feed the mixture slowly into the extruder. You can see how briquettes come out of the machine. If you don't have a motor, you can do it by hand or by pedal power. The finished briquettes should be dried in the sun for a day and then baked on top of the kiln for extra hardness. The hardened briquettes should be weighed and packed into bags. The starch for making paste should come from flour, ground ipo seeds, cassava or corn starch. We can also make flat, round, or slotted briquettes by using a special mold. Make paste as already shown. Mix it with the char powder in same proportions. These are the individual parts of the mold. First, part of the mold, and fit the perforated cutout on. Then place the round ring on the mold, and then fill the mold with char and starch mixture by pressing it down with your fingers. Lift the briquette from the mold along the perforated cutout. Then place the briquette down. Remove first the perforated cutout, and then place a circular disc on the briquette and round ring. By pressing it gently, remove the briquette from the metal ring surrounding it. You can see the slotted briquettes. You can also make briquettes by hand or with a tuna can mold and stick, or with a rock, stick, and can mold. After the briquette has been compacted, remove it and place it in the sun. Rice hull and sawdust biomass are both plentiful and hard to dispose of. And now with RA 9003, you're no longer allowed to openly burn this trash. The City of Kabankalan Agriculture Department has developed a technology to dispose of and carbonize your rice hulls, rice straw, sawdust, leaf litter, and other biomass, and produce high-quality charcoal briquettes with this waste. Start with a small amount of kindling. Then place the can and chimney over the kindling. Light the kindling on fire. Wait until the kindling is burning throughout. Now start covering the area around the can with dry rice hulls or cocoa lumber sawdust. Make sure the fire continues to burn. Add rice hull as needed, but do not exceed a pile of 2 meters high. The carbonized time will take about 1 hour for each rice sack added. There will be heavy smoke for about 15 minutes. When neighbors live close by, a tall chimney will keep the smoke away. This This is what the carbonized rice hulls should look like. If a portable design is needed, this unit might work. The bottom part is a paint can with holes cut into it. Notice the holes in the pipe, drilled every 4 inches. This is to allow the rice hulls to be piled up to 2 meters high. The unit is a 4-inch GI pipe with cans tied to its bottom. The total height of the pipe is about 2 meters tall. Fire the kindling as before. Then carefully start to bury the base of the cans. Make sure the fire is burning strongly before continuing. Proceed with covering the cans and pipe. Make sure the biomass has been thoroughly dried.